The movie Up is not only a great film, but it has many meaningful themes and life lessons. The movie begins with Carl Fredricksen fanboying over the famous explorer Charles Moons. Charles is on the hunt for a colorful, exotic bird everybody thinks is made up and not real. Next, Carl is on his way home from the movie theater, where he meets a sweet young girl named Ellie. Carl and Ellie quickly fall in love and get married. He promises to take her to Paradise Falls in a giant blimp to go on a big adventure. Next in the movie, there's a montage that depicts their life story, and at the end of this, Ellie dies, leaving Carl all alone. Ellie's death deeply affects Carl, leading him to become a very grumpy and cold old man. Carl wants his house to be fixed up, so he hires some workers to work on his home. He gets into an argument with one of the workers, leading him to smack one of the workers with his cane. His actions get him sentenced to live out the rest of his years at Shady Oak Retirement Home. Going to this retirement home is Carl's nightmare, so he comes up with a brilliant plan. He decides he must attach thousands of balloons to his home to float him up and away to Paradise Falls. Right before takeoff, a wilderness explorer named Russell sneaks into Carl's home without Carl even noticing. While on their adventure going up, Carl and Russell obviously run into each other on the floating house. Carl becomes salty because he finds Russell to be very annoying and talkative, and he believes he is going to ruin his whole trip. During the trip, the two encounter a terrible storm, leading them to have to make the decision whether or not to have an emergency landing. In the end, they choose to make the landing. During their landing, a dog named Doug runs up to them, but this is no ordinary dog. He has a special collar allowing him to speak. The next crazy thing that happens is a huge exotic bird named Kevin comes along. Once Kevin shows up, Doug tells him that this is the bird he has been hunting for his master, who of course turns out to be Charles Moons. Carl of course has to meet him, since this has been somebody that he's always looked up to and he's really interested in. So Doug takes the crew to Moons. After meeting him, Charles captures Kevin and Russell, leaving Carl all alone once again. Disappointed and tired after this long journey, Carl heads back home. He sits down in his old recliner and picks up the adventure book he made with his wife Ellie. He finds the grape soda cap they shared together to keep their promises, but he also finds a note. The note Ellie wrote to him was telling him to go find a new adventure without her. Realizing how lonely he truly is, he feels inspired to get back Russell. Carl goes back up with his thousands of balloons to find Moons. Once he finds them, they have a difficult duel in the air, but in the end, Carl gets his friends back and detaches Moons, leading him to fall to his death. Once they get back to the ground, Russell tells Carl about his wilderness explorer ceremony. Carl steps in the place of Russell's deadbeat dad, gives him the most honorable badge, the Ellie badge, which has a soda cap. The first important theme in this movie is people who inspire you or you may look up to may not always be the people they seem. Carl loved Moons until he met him, and then he realized how fake he was. So you must be careful on who you decide to trust and look up to, because many people can be fake. The second important theme is that it is very important not to judge people too soon or be afraid of making new friends. Carl was grumpy because he was lonely. He hated Russell because he was annoying and too talkative, and Carl was not open-minded to making new friends. You should not be afraid to make new friends or talk to new people, because you never know, they could be your new best friend. Also, don't judge someone too soon because you don't even know them yet, and you never know when you will make a new unlikely friend. With risk comes reward. You have to risk talking to new people because the reward is a new best friend. Nobody can live a happy life being all alone. Don't be the grumpy Carl, be the new open-minded Carl. Go out and try to make some new friends, and you might be pleasantly surprised. Thank you for listening. Now go make some new friends.